we are now shifting into our Future Ready Alps session, which of course is focused on digital transformation, resilient infrastructure, and public value in data and AI. And of course, this session is in dialogue with the European Commission. So, this is our final part of our session today. Just a bit of background. We will have three, or we have called dynamic pitch and response sessions, and each of those will last 20 minutes. And they're going to be based on the same format across each of the three sessions. The first on digital transformation, the second on digital infrastructures, and the third on public value in data and AI. And each session consists of 4 experts. There is going to be the related focal point from Action Group 5, who is going to introduce their session and also offer some concluding remarks. We have 2 project pitchers who will outline related projects, either the projects that are gearing up to deliver, that are currently delivering, or may even have finished. And the role of the pitchers is to share key insights into their projects. It could be good practices, successes, challenges, and policy recommendations. And each pitcher will have a slide that they will share with us. And then we will have a respondent from the European Commission who will reflect on what the pitchers have shared and offer their perspectives. Pitchers and respondents each have 5 minutes for their interventions. Pitchers, as I said, have prepared a slide. I'm going to be sitting on the sidelines throughout this session, so I'm getting a slightly easier ride in this one, and I'm leaving the difficult stuff to the experts. But I will support the changeover from one session into the next, which will have to be really rapid, and I have to keep time with this session. I politely remind all of our speakers in all of the 3 sessions that we have to respect the clock, allowing the same time for everyone's contribution. I'd also like to remind all of you out here that you still have to respond to question 2 in Slido so that we can reveal the results at the end of our session today. So without any further ado, I'm going to very quickly introduce our speakers in our first session before I hand over to Carlo. So Carlo Vigna, you've already met him. He is the focal point of Action Group 5 for digital transformation. We have Gianluca Lentini, who is going to talk about the SmartCommUnity project. We have Serwin Paswas-Vidal, who is going to talk about the Smart Era project. And they have Angelo Cerqueti from DG AGRI, who is going to be our respondent in this session. Thank you very much indeed. And over to you, Carlo.
Thank you, Elisa. And as you already know, we have 3 main priorities in our action plan for Group 5. And this is a pleasure to trying to connect the year on the first priorities, that is the digital transformation for the benefit of local communities. So the challenge, I think, has been very well stated in the discussion that we had. Until now, you can see the main challenge restated. So for the, I will say the worker, but also the right to stay, also to take opportunity, all we mentioned. And so thanks to the participant to this session, I will suggest also maybe 3 spatial perspectives to try and process this digital transformation. The first one is, of course, to try to stress the local community point of view of those in mountain and rural areas. The second one is fostering the bottom-up approach, because it's one of key issue also we are trying to develop in EUSALP. And the third one, of course, is to be innovative, but also specific and maybe to save the identity of mountain territories and local communities. So I would say thanks to the first project, we already heard about SmartCommUnity, and they played it with us Gianluca Lentini, that is a geophysicist, a researcher at the Poliedra. And you also had a lot of experience in the sustainable smart environment project for rural mountain areas. So you approached a lot of projects. I did very short, but of course, you were part also as Poliedra as a methodological partner of Smart Community. So Gianluca, is your first speech for it.
Thank you very much, Carlo. Hello, it's working. Good afternoon, also from my side. I will be briefly presenting the Interactive MySpace project Smart Community. The word community is used practically today, and the point was not used, it was belied by all our presentations. In fact, Smart Community was a 3-year project with loads of friends sitting here taking part in it, in which we developed a community of future-proof to rural areas with a strong emphasis on digital development. But I really want to emphasize the fact that we had worked with more than 15 rural areas all over the Alps, from France to Switzerland, Austria, Germany, Italy, and Slovenia, from west to east. The main success achieved was the creation of a digital ecosystem called SmartCommUnity, in which our rural areas would meet, online, exchange good practices, exchange tools, exchange all the challenges and hurdles they face. It was a bit complex because it was in different languages and it was difficult to use at the beginning, but we learned a lot. Also, some of our tools were developed exactly for the Smart Community project. The challenge is we try to face mostly the most important enabling factors in smart and digital development, which is infrastructure on the side and digital skills on the other side for the generations. I want to underline something that it is very important. It has not been cited explicitly, but we have seen it take place inside community. While you work in communities in the Alps and you preserve the livelihood, the attractiveness of these communities in the Alps, you're also preserving cultures, traditions, languages. The Alpine area is also a treasure trove of languages and cultures and tradition that quando viscono getting lost if people move away from it. This is something we want to preserve as well as my community, with community sense. This is very fat, for example, in Bauenalsa, the local languages, the local traditions, but all the ways, in fact. But, and this is also something that Emilia, in the other book, talked about a lot today. We want to bring innovation to the people and we want to create innovation with the local people. That's why I want to throw something on the table here. We want to create and go further in Smart Community and perhaps create a network of Alpine digital innovation hubs. Because we had seen in Smart Community how important it is to make innovation in the Alps, for the Alps, by the Alpine prefer. It is part of EDIH idea, as was mentioned before, but this is something that I want to put at everybody's attention key. As a policy recommendation, we're not at anything new here. Create policies with the people, not to the people. Create policy for the months. I was really pleased when I heard you talking about one single policy pattern, policy packets for the rural areas in general. This is something I've also emerged quite strongly as a need in the Smart Community project. We have, I think, lots of points of contact with AG5 in this. In fact, we contributed a bit to the work plan of AG5 with this, especially in terms of scale-up digital transformation and creating a digital transformation by the Alps that works in the Alps.
Thank you very much, Gianluca, for your contribution on the pitch. Then we were at also friends to Orlando, but now we can switch from one Alpine Space program to one Raymond Horizon project. And we're very pleased to have with us Sarah Pulipasa Hospital. You are a senior policy level on territorial development at the European Association for Innovation Development. You have a lot of experience on this kind of initiative and on EU provision, and of course you will talk about the Smart Era project. So maybe similar challenges, maybe some differences. The floor is yours.
Thank you. I also to thank for the opportunity on behalf of Silvano Kessler from Trento, Paris, who is very keen that the smart was represented here. I will go just over repeating too much. I mean, you can see the essentials of the project is like here. I happily have a few partners from the project that can correct me if I am wrong. But I will just focus on the policy analysis we've done in a smart era and trying to relate in terms of similarities and differences with the AG5 work plan, which I think had more issue for the most of the audience. So I'll get that there. In essence, we could say that the analysis of policy gaps and government's failures sometimes we have identified EUI for smart really applied as well to EUSALP and the work of AG5. I think, and the positive thing is that having seen the AG5 work plan and compared with broader connection analysis we do in really smart I think overall you try to do specific solutions on the same problem we identify for the whole smart problem. So I think, in a way, I would say that our wider work validates a lot of the AG5, and I know, and that's I think used because not always the case. Sometimes we got like several policy silos and policy communities and completely don't talk to each other. Just a couple of specifics on smart communities. I think the work you do is smart network expansion or focus on capacity building is quite important. This is something that the smart care project also does. We tend to have a more specific focus on smart villages. That is the nature of the project. But I think that's overall the operationalization of the problems in terms of a smart community development that you do in AG5 is pretty much validated by the work we do in smart care. So projects still have weight, but I think I can safely say that. One thing we have identified smart there is the issue about digitalization, of course, as a enabling condition, and the fragmentation of the digitalization policies and connectivities. But we discuss all often on that. And therefore, the focus you're doing in terms of broadband or AI data spaces, I think they provide some sort of a practical way forward on that. I mean, identifying, we talk about digitalization as a need, and you are developing a number of concrete solutions in terms of digital infrastructure, AI pilots, and digital service adoption, or capacity building, cybersecurity, which I think in some cases we've been going further. Some of the topics we are doing actually is good because I think we're going to use 85 to inform some of the elements we are still developing in smart there. On governance, I'm not going to repeat because this is the macro-regional conference, but work. There's still problems of coordination within the member state, at around member state, vertical, horizontal, and cross-sectoral. That's something that is inevitable, and I think the work you're doing in every fight that the joint political declaration or the action group themselves is part of the answer. I will not say it's the whole answer because there's a lot of capacity jurisdictional matters that have to be addressed, but I think that's you do what you can with the constraints you got. I think that's an useful thing, and that's the sort of measure we are looking into ourselves. I'm gonna discuss on a couple of things on data gaps. I mean, again, we identify smart data out of lack of raw indicators. Sometimes they exist, but they are not systematized. These monitoring systems are insufficient. Sometimes they have resources, but they're not properly operationalized. So that's exactly the money, but it's not properly done. It's not sometimes because of you have to put a lot of factors together, a lot of jurisdictional issues together, a lot of capacity issues, and so there's weak data gaps. So therefore, the work on data spaces, platforms, the availability of digital tools, that the AI responses and analytics that you're being 85 pretty much goes into providing part of the solution to the work. I mean, just
What do you say to 1 more minute?
no, that's it. I'll to finish. Last page. So no. I mean, I think it's just important on the tech. I will focus on just open the terminology that I think. I'll just sum up. I think the work is done 85 in terms of geopolitical declaration, the cost AG cooperation, the eco spaces, capacity buildings, the connectivity roadmap, the smart, the expansion of map network, and and also the other elements of the communities and confidence that you're developing is part of the solution. We will see now, and that's for the debate, whether the national regional plans plans or new form of intellect will actually enhance or hamper. I think done well, it might enhance, but if it done well, and there's a lot of if there that we need to sort out, but I think you are a good test bed of that land, Paul.
Thank you, Cerqueti, for your suggestion, and the analysis, the gap analysis also is very concrete and useful. And then I think Angelo don't need a new introduction, so I'm thanking you directly before because we are very happy to be in Valle, so to do this kind of exchanges with you of the European Commission person. So the floor is yours for maybe that another insight class.
Thank you. I think in this case we see two concrete examples of what digital for cohesion actually looks like on the ground. I think for SmartCommUnity, this is something really useful to turn a network into a sort of working digital ecosystem, as you said. Smart Alps EU 15. Right, 15 alpine areas being tested over. So I think this is the type of tangible tool that the Commission wants to see coming from interveg alpine space. Your analysis is correct, and what we've been saying with this entire afternoon, that infrastructure alone is not enough if there is no local. In this case, rural areas, there is not a local digital literacy and skills. I think what we do already at our EU level with the Broadband Competence Office is similar to your concept of digital lab task force, because we create capacity building session, advisory support for the public authorities, as I said, at the national and regional level. We try to place them all at the same level. We try to inform them as Commission. We talk to each other. We influence each other. We end up understanding that issues in our various region in Austria is the same issue that you might have in Oscalari, Friuli, Venezia and Emilia region. So by talking to each other, they understand that actually what is an hassle for me to solve it in this way, that could be nice. And this is what you are trying to achieve with is SmartCommUnity. And I think also your direction is aligned where the Commission is going with the latest policy attempt we have come to develop, like the DNA, the Digital Network Sat, the gigabit infrastructure all recommendation in that simplify the regulation. So I think this is the right way forward as we move to the new NFS. We have to make sure that this type of tools like Smart Alps EU don't lose this cross-border network character, stay relevant. Same for Smart Tira. I see that you share same point with the SmartCommUnity. Digital transformation works way it's embedded in the local ecosystems and not as a standalone technology. And as I was saying in my keynote, we are moving away from this rigid side of measures towards a more integrated place-based logic. So in both this example, I think that you are following the logic behind this the EU shift towards more flexible funding architecture for rural areas post 2027. So the real best now, as I was saying in my keynote, is to see if this 10% in rural area, when it's going to be implemented, if member states will be able to use this fund precisely to renew and to foster this type of capacity building and packaging work away.
So thank you very much, Angelo, and thank you to also you. I think a very quick reaction starting from SmartCommUnity. Of course, it's so relevant of the social and cultural approach, the payments of digital transformation, and to build this with people. So we will try to keep these priorities where here in our worlds, and also the complete idea of a network of the maybe European Digital Innovation Fund. But I think also we need the second layer of innovation facility distributed in territory that are linked, of course, with the main digital innovation hub, but not only then, because maybe sometimes it's difficult for more player to reach also this kind of digital innovation hub. Of course, going to smart tier for the gap analysis and proper the suggestion, of course, of fragmentation. It's a coordination is key point. It is where I think the action group of the development regional strategy full up to this point. Also, the smart tier initiative is maybe the horizon for the call center manager project is a challenge also for our action group to promote more in this in the future, because sometimes it's so difficult to assess this kind of funds. So if there are strong players that have the ability to be the part where they can also involve other, maybe it's smaller actor. And of course, the idea to capitalize on existing network. So we launched this AG5, the Smart Path Network. It's a network or municipalities working to be the smart community, but also the existing network from European Commission, so the broadband competitivity officer, but many other network or work groups. So it will be, I think, the goal for 85 will be to be more part of also this, because all the data we are lacking data at the alpine region indicator, as you mentioned, so and interoperable. So I think these are the key point, and also at the political level, the idea of simplification of some the rules of for digital is another key priority. So thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. A very round of applause for our speakers.